Have you ever glanced at the clock and seen 1111 staring back at you? Or maybe you've noticed the number 1111 popping up everywhere, on license plates, receipts, or even page numbers. If so, you're not alone. This isn't just a coincidence. In fact, seeing this video right now might be part of something bigger. The universe works in mysterious ways, and sometimes it sends us little nudges to pay attention. That's exactly what 1111 is, a cosmic nudge, a spiritual alarm clock trying to wake you up to something important. Think about it. Out of all the videos you could be watching right now, you're here. Maybe you clicked on this because the title caught your eye, or perhaps it showed up in your recommendations out of the blue. Whatever brought you here, there's a reason. The universe has a message for you, and it's using 1111 as its calling card. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about 1111? Well, that's what we're here to uncover. This number isn't just a random sequence of ones. It's a powerful symbol in the spiritual world, and understanding its meaning could change the way you look at your life. So, if you've been seeing 1111 lately, or if you're just curious about what it might mean, stick around. You're in for a mind-opening journey. Let's dive into what 1111 really means in the spiritual world. This number is like a secret code from the universe, and once you crack it, you'll start seeing life in a whole new way. First off, 1111 is what's called an angel number. Don't worry, you don't need to believe in angels to get this. Think of it more like a cosmic thumbs up, a sign that you're on the right track. When you see 1111, it's like the universe is trying to get your attention. It's saying, "Hey, wake up!" Something important is happening. This number is all about new beginnings, fresh starts, and exciting opportunities. It's like the universe is opening a door for you, inviting you to step into a new chapter of your life. But here's the cool part. 1111 is also about your thoughts and intentions. Ever heard the saying, thoughts become things? Well, 1111 is a reminder of that. When you see this number, it's a sign to pay extra attention to what you're thinking. Your thoughts are super powerful, and right now, they have the potential to shape your reality in a big way. Imagine you're at a crossroads in your life. Maybe you're thinking about changing jobs, starting a new relationship, or picking up a new hobby. Seeing 1111 during these times is like the universe giving you a big thumbs up. It's saying, go for it. Your thoughts are aligned with your true path. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't it just a coincidence? Here's where it gets interesting. In the spiritual world, there's something called synchronicity. It's the idea that seemingly random events are actually meaningfully connected. Seeing 1111 repeatedly is a perfect example of this. Think about it. What are the odds of seeing the same specific number pattern over and over again? It's like the universe is playing a cosmic game of hide and seek with you, leaving little clues everywhere. And when you start noticing these clues, it's a sign that you're becoming more in tune with the world around you. But 1111 isn't just about noticing coincidences. It's a wake-up call for spiritual awakening. What does that mean? Well, it's like your spiritual alarm clock is going off. The universe is gently, or sometimes not so gently, nudging you to wake up to your true potential, to see beyond the everyday hustle and bustle and connect with something deeper. This spiritual awakening doesn't mean you have to go meditate on a mountaintop or completely change your life overnight. It's more about becoming aware, aware of your thoughts, aware of your actions, and aware of the interconnectedness of everything around you. When you see 1111, it's an invitation to pause for a moment and tune in to this awareness. Seeing 1111 is often the first step on a journey of self-discovery. It's like the universe is saying, hey, there's more to you than you realize. Want to find out what that is? This journey isn't always easy. It might mean facing some truths about yourself or your life that you've been avoiding, but it's also incredibly rewarding. As you start paying attention to 1111 and what it might mean for you, you might notice other things changing too. Maybe you'll feel more intuitive, like you just know things without knowing how you know them. Or perhaps you'll start feeling more connected to the people and the world around you. These are all signs that you're awakening to your spiritual side. But remember, this isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more you, the real you, underneath all the layers of expectations and daily routines. 1111 is a reminder that you have incredible potential within you waiting to be unlocked. So the next time you see 1111, take a moment, pause, and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? What do I really want in my life? This number is your cue to check in with yourself and make sure you're on the path that feels right for you. Now that we've talked about what 1111 means, let's bring in someone who can help us understand how to use this spiritual wake-up call in our lives. Enter Joe Dispenza. If you haven't heard of him before, you're in for a treat. Joe Dispenza isn't your typical spiritual guru. He's a scientist, an author, and a teacher who bridges the gap between science and spirituality. Joe's work is all about understanding the connection between our mind and our body, and how we can use this connection to transform our lives. He's not about woo-woo theories or unproven ideas. Instead, he backs up his teachings with scientific research, making them accessible and practical for everyone, even if you're new to all this spiritual stuff. What makes Joe's work so powerful is that he's been through his own incredible journey of transformation. After a serious accident that left him with a severe spinal injury, doctors told Joe he'd never walk again. But instead of accepting this, he used the power of his mind to heal his body. This experience led him to dedicate his life to understanding how our thoughts and emotions can literally change our biology. One of the core ideas in Joe Dispenza's work is that we are not doomed to be the same person day after day. Our brains and bodies are capable of incredible change, and it all starts with our thoughts. This is where the connection to 1111 comes in. Remember how we said 1111 is a reminder to pay attention to your thoughts? Well, Joe's work explains why this is so important. According to Joe, every thought we have creates a chemical reaction in our body. When we think the same thoughts over and over, we create patterns in our brain and body. These patterns can be good or bad, depending on what we're thinking. The good news is, we have the power to change these patterns. Joe teaches that through meditation and focused thought, we can actually rewire our brains and change the chemistry of our bodies. It's like we're the scientists in the laboratory of our own lives, and our thoughts are the experiments we run. When we see 1111, it's like the universe is reminding us to check in on our experiments. Are we thinking thoughts that are helping us grow and change in positive ways? What's really cool about Joe Dispenza's work is how it brings together ancient spiritual wisdom and cutting-edge science. He shows us that things like meditation and mindfulness aren't just feel-good practices. They have real, measurable effects on our brains and bodies. For example, Joe talks about how meditation can actually change the structure of our brain. When we meditate regularly, we can increase the gray matter in areas of the brain associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation. It's like giving our brain a workout, making it stronger and more flexible. This is where the idea of 1111 as a spiritual wake-up call really comes to life. When we see this number, it's not just a cosmic coincidence. It's an opportunity to pause and engage in practices that can literally change our brain and our life. It's a reminder to take a moment for meditation, to check in with our thoughts, and to align ourselves with the person we want to become. Joe's work also touches on the idea of the quantum field, the invisible energy that connects everything in the universe. He explains how our thoughts and intentions can interact with this field, creating real changes in our physical world. This ties back to the idea of 1111 as a sign of alignment. When we see this number, it might be a sign that we're in sync with this quantum field, that our thoughts and intentions are powerful and aligned with our true path. One of the best things about Joe Dispenza's teachings is how practical they are. He doesn't just talk about lofty spiritual concepts. He gives concrete steps that anyone can take to start changing their life. This is perfect for understanding how to use the 1111 wake-up call in our daily lives. For instance, Joe teaches a technique called mental rehearsal. This is where you vividly imagine your desired future as if it's happening right now. When you combine this with the awareness that 1111 brings, you have a powerful tool for transformation. The next time you see 1111, it could be your cue to take a moment and mentally rehearse your goals and dreams. Joe also emphasizes the importance of feeling the emotions of your desired future in the present moment. This isn't just positive thinking. It's about creating real physiological changes in your body that align with your goals. When 1111 pops up, it's like a reminder to check in with your emotional state. Are you feeling the way you want to feel? If not, it's an opportunity to shift your emotional state. Another key aspect of Joe's work is breaking free from the past. He teaches that many of us are stuck in loops of old thoughts and behaviors, reliving the past instead of creating a new future. The appearance of 1111 can be seen as a cosmic interruption of these old patterns. It's a chance to pause and ask yourself, am I thinking about the past, or am I creating my future? One of the most inspiring aspects of Joe Dispenza's teachings is the idea that when we change ourselves, we change the world around us. This ties in beautifully with the concept of 1111 as a sign of alignment and awakening. As we become more aware and start making positive changes in our lives, it has a ripple effect on everything and everyone around us. Joe often talks about how our energy affects others. When we raise our own vibration through positive thoughts, meditation, and aligned actions, we naturally lift up those around us. This is where the true power of noticing and acting on signs like 1111 comes in. It's not just about personal growth. It's about contributing to a larger shift in consciousness. Imagine a world where more and more people are tuning into these spiritual wake-up calls, where people are actively working on aligning their thoughts and actions with their highest potential. This is the kind of transformation that Joe Dispenza's work, combined with spiritual practices like paying attention to 1111, can bring about. As we wrap up our exploration of 1111 and Joe Dispenza's teachings, it's important to remember that this is just the beginning. Spiritual awakening and personal transformation are ongoing journeys, not destinations. Seeing 1111 and learning about these concepts is like being handed a map and a compass for this journey. Joe Dispenza's work provides the scientific backing and practical tools to navigate this path, while the spiritual significance of 1111 serves as a constant reminder and encouragement along the way. Together, they create a powerful framework for understanding ourselves and our place in the universe. Remember, the next time you see 1111, it's not just a coincidence. It's an invitation to pause, to reflect, and to align yourself with your highest potential. It's a reminder that you have the power to shape your reality through your thoughts and actions. And with the insights from Joe Dispenza's work, you have the knowledge to make the most of these cosmic wake-up calls. So keep your eyes open, stay curious, and be ready to embark on the greatest adventure of all, the journey to becoming your true self. The universe is rooting for you, sending you signs like 1111 to guide your way. And with the wisdom of teachers like Joe Dispenza, you have all the tools you need to make the most of these divine nudges. Your journey of awakening and transformation is uniquely yours. Embrace it, explore it, and most importantly, enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, living a life of joy, purpose, and connection. And it all starts with paying attention to those little signs, like 1111, that the universe sends your way. Now that we've explored the meaning of 1111 and introduced Joe Dispenza's work, let's connect these two powerful concepts. At first glance, you might wonder what an angel number and a scientist's teachings have in common. But when we look closer, we see that they're both pointing to the same truth. Our thoughts and intentions have the power to shape our reality. Remember how we said 1111 is a wake-up call, a reminder to pay attention to your thoughts? Well, this idea is at the heart of Joe Dispenza's teachings too. He explains that our thoughts create our reality, not just in some vague metaphorical way, but in a very real physical sense. Our thoughts trigger chemical reactions in our body, affecting everything from our mood to our health to the opportunities we attract into our lives. When you see 1111, it's like the universe is giving you a nudge, saying, "Hey, what are you thinking right now?" It's an invitation to check in with yourself and make sure your thoughts are aligned with what you truly want. And this is exactly what Joe Dispenza encourages us to do through his work. He teaches us to be more aware of our thoughts and to consciously choose thoughts that support our goals and dreams. Both 1111 and Joe Dispenza's teachings emphasize the importance of awareness. Seeing 1111 is often described as a moment of heightened awareness, a brief window where the veil between the spiritual and physical world seems thinner. It's a moment when we're more tuned in to the bigger picture of our lives. Similarly, Joe Dispenza talks a lot about the power of awareness in his work. He teaches that by becoming more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can start to change them. This awareness is the first step in breaking old patterns and creating new, more positive ones. So, when you see 1111, think of it as a cosmic reminder to practice the kind of awareness that Joe Dispenza talks about. It's an opportunity to pause and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? How am I feeling? Are these thoughts and feelings aligned with the life I want to create? Here's where things get really interesting. Joe Dispenza often talks about the quantum field, which is the invisible energy that connects everything in the universe. He explains that our thoughts and intentions can interact with this field, creating ripples that affect our physical reality. Now think about the concept of synchronicity that we talked about with 1111. The idea that seeing this number repeatedly isn't just a coincidence, but a meaningful pattern in your life. This is very similar to what Joe Dispenza describes when he talks about how our thoughts can create synchronicities in our lives. When you see 1111, it could be seen as a sign that you're in alignment with this quantum field. It's like the universe is saying, yes, you're on the right track. Keep going. And according to Joe Dispenza's teachings, when we're in this state of alignment, we're more likely to experience positive changes and synchronicities in our lives. Let's dive into one of Joe Dispenza's key teachings and see how it relates to the 1111 phenomenon. One of the core ideas in Joe's work is that we have the power to rewire our brains through our thoughts. This isn't just positive thinking. It's about creating real physical changes in our brain's structure. Here's how it works. Every time we have a thought, it creates a neural pathway in our brain. The more we think a particular thought, the stronger that pathway becomes. It's like creating a road in a forest. The more you walk that path, the clearer and easier to travel it becomes. Now here's where 1111 comes in. When you see this number, it's like a signpost on that neural pathway. It's reminding you to check in. What thoughts are you reinforcing right now? Are you strengthening positive pathways that lead to growth and success? Or are you stuck in old patterns that aren't serving you? Joe teaches that we can consciously choose to create new, positive neural pathways. We can do this through meditation, visualization, and consistent positive thinking. So the next time you see 1111, use it as a cue to reinforce those positive pathways. Take a moment to visualize your goals, affirm your positive beliefs, or practice gratitude. The exciting thing about this teaching is that it shows us we're not stuck being who we've always been. We have the power to change, to grow, to become the person we want to be. And it all starts with our thoughts. Joe Dispenza's research has shown that when we change our thoughts, we literally change the structure and function of our brain. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's one of the most empowering scientific discoveries of our time. It means that no matter what habits or patterns you've had in the past, you have the power to change them. Seeing 1111 can be a powerful trigger for this kind of change. Each time you see it, it's an opportunity to pause and choose your thoughts consciously. Are you thinking thoughts that support your growth and happiness? If not, it's a chance to shift your thinking and start creating those new positive neural pathways. But Joe Dispenza takes this idea even further. He teaches that it's not enough to just think positive thoughts. We need to embody them. We need to feel the emotions associated with our desired reality, as if it's already happened. This is where the real magic happens. When we combine positive thoughts with positive emotions, we start to change our energy field. We begin to vibrate at a different frequency. And according to Joe, this is when we start to attract different experiences into our lives. So when you see 1111, don't just think about your goals. Feel them. Imagine how you'll feel when you've achieved what you want. Let yourself experience the joy, the satisfaction, the excitement. This emotional rehearsal is a powerful way to start bringing your desires into reality. Another fundamental teaching in Joe Dispenza's work is the powerful connection between our minds and our bodies. He explains that our thoughts and emotions have a direct impact on our physical health. This idea brings a whole new dimension to the 1111 synchronicity. Joe's own story is a powerful example of this mind-body connection. After a severe spinal injury, he used the power of his mind to heal his body, defying doctors' predictions that he would never walk again. This experience led him to explore how our thoughts can influence our physical reality, including our health. When you see 1111, it could be a reminder to check in with your body. What are you feeling physically? Are there any areas of tension or discomfort? According to Joe's teachings, these physical sensations are often linked to our thoughts and emotions. By becoming aware of these connections, we can start to heal not just our minds, but our bodies too. Joe Dispenza explains that every thought we have creates a chemical reaction in our body. When we have happy, positive thoughts, our body releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. On the other hand, stressful or negative thoughts trigger the release of stress hormones like cortisol. This is where the 1111 synchronicity can be incredibly powerful. When you see these numbers, use it as a cue to choose thoughts that create positive chemistry in your body. Take a moment to think about something you're grateful for, or visualize a happy memory. These simple acts can shift your body's chemistry, promoting healing and well-being. But Joe takes this idea even further. He teaches that by consistently choosing positive thoughts and emotions, we can actually change our baseline state. We can train our bodies to exist in a state of health and happiness rather than stress and disease. One of Joe's most profound teachings is that many of us are actually addicted to our negative emotions. We've become so used to feeling stressed, anxious, or angry that our bodies crave these familiar states, even though they're not good for us. Seeing 1111 can be like a pattern interrupt for these emotional addictions. It's a chance to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is this emotion serving me? If you find yourself stuck in a negative emotional state, use the 1111 sighting as a trigger to shift your focus. Joe teaches various techniques for breaking these emotional addictions, including meditation and what he calls mental rehearsal. This involves vividly imagining positive future scenarios and feeling the emotions associated with them. When you see 1111, it could be your cue to engage in one of these practices, helping to rewire your brain and body for positivity and health. Perhaps one of Joe Dispenza's most mind-bending teachings is the idea that we are, at our core, quantum beings. He explains that at the subatomic level, we are made up of energy and information, constantly interacting with the quantum field around us. This teaching brings a whole new level of meaning to the 1111 synchronicity. When you see these numbers, it could be a sign that you're tuning into this quantum aspect of yourself. It's a reminder that you are more than just your physical body. You are a being of energy, capable of influencing the world around you through your thoughts and intentions. Joe teaches that when we learn to operate from this quantum level, we open ourselves up to incredible possibilities. We can heal our bodies, attract positive experiences, and even influence the physical world around us. The 1111 synchronicity might be a sign that you're ready to explore this quantum aspect of yourself. So the next time you see 1111, take a moment to connect with this quantum part of you. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine yourself as pure energy, connected to everything around you. This simple practice can help you tap into the incredible potential that Joe Dispenza talks about in his teachings. Now that we've explored the deep connection between 1111 and Joe Dispenza's teachings, let's talk about how to apply this knowledge in your everyday life. Remember, seeing 1111 isn't just about recognizing a cool pattern. It's an invitation to transform your life. And with Joe Dispenza's practical techniques, you have the tools to do just that. One of the most powerful practices Joe recommends is meditation. But this isn't just about sitting quietly and trying to empty your mind. Joe teaches a specific form of meditation that combines focused attention, visualization, and elevated emotions. When you see 1111, take it as a reminder to set aside some time for this kind of meditation. Start by finding a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Then focus your attention on your heart. Visualize your ideal life. See yourself living it, feeling it, experiencing it as if it's happening right now. As you do this, allow yourself to feel the positive emotions associated with this vision. Joy, gratitude, excitement, whatever feels right for you. This practice does more than just make you feel good in the moment. According to Joe's research, it actually changes your brain chemistry and even your DNA. It's like you're programming yourself at the deepest level to align with your desired reality. Joe Dispenza often talks about the importance of how we start our day. The thoughts and feelings we have in the morning set the tone for the rest of our day. So why not use 1111 as a trigger to establish a powerful morning routine? Set your alarm for 11:11 a.m. or p.m. if you're a night owl. When you wake up, instead of immediately checking your phone or jumping into your to-do list, take a few minutes for yourself. You could do a short meditation, write in a gratitude journal, or simply set your intentions for the day. Remember, the key is to combine thoughts with feelings. Don't just think about what you want to achieve. Feel the emotions of already having achieved it. This puts you in a high energy state that, according to Joe, makes you more likely to attract positive experiences throughout your day. Of course, transformation doesn't just happen in the morning or during meditation. It's about being mindful throughout your day. This is where the 1111 synchronicity can be incredibly powerful. Every time you see 1111, whether it's on a clock, a license plate, or a receipt, use it as a cue to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? How am I feeling? Am I in alignment with my goals and desires? If you find that you're caught up in negative thoughts or emotions, use this moment to shift. Take a deep breath, recall your morning intentions, and choose a more positive state of mind. Over time, These small moments of mindfulness can add up to big changes in your life. One of Joe's most fascinating teachings is about living in the quantum field. This is the idea that we can tap into a field of infinite possibilities, where we're not limited by our past or our current circumstances. When you see 1111, imagine it as a doorway into this quantum field. Take a moment to step out of your routine thinking and open yourself to new possibilities. Ask yourself, what if anything were possible? What would I do, be, or have? This isn't about fantasizing or daydreaming. It's about expanding your sense of what's possible and aligning yourself with higher potentials. The more you practice this, the more you may find unexpected opportunities and synchronicities showing up in your life. Now let's talk about a real-life example of how these principles can work. Meet Sarah, a 35-year-old teacher who had been struggling with chronic stress and career dissatisfaction. She had always dreamed of starting her own educational consulting business, but fear and self-doubt held her back. One day, Sarah started noticing 1111 everywhere. At first, she brushed it off as coincidence, but after learning about its spiritual significance, she decided to pay attention. She began using these 1111 sightings as reminders to check in with herself and refocus on her dreams. Around the same time, Sarah discovered Joe Dispenza's work. She started practicing his meditation techniques, focusing on visualizing herself as a successful consultant. Every morning, she would take time to not just imagine her new career, but to feel the excitement, confidence, and fulfillment of living that reality. It wasn't always easy. There were days when doubt crept in, when the gap between her current reality and her dreams seemed too wide. But every time she saw 1111, it renewed her commitment. She used it as a sign to persist, to keep aligning her thoughts and emotions with her vision. Slowly but surely, things began to change. Sarah found herself handling stress better at work. She started attracting opportunities to speak at educational conferences. Former colleagues began reaching out for advice, laying the groundwork for her future consulting work. After about a year of consistent practice, Sarah had built up enough side work and savings to take the leap. She launched her consulting business, and to her amazement, clients seemed to appear almost effortlessly. Looking back, she realized that all those months of mental and emotional preparation had set the stage for her success. Sarah's story is a powerful example of how combining awareness of signs like 1111 with practices like those taught by Joe Dispenza can lead to real-life transformation. It shows that change may not happen overnight, but with persistence and alignment, amazing things are possible. If you're feeling a bit skeptical about all this talk of 1111 and quantum fields, that's okay. In fact, it's completely normal. We live in a world that often prioritizes logical, analytical thinking over intuition and spiritual concepts. But here's the thing. Skepticism doesn't have to mean closed-mindedness. Joe Dispenza himself comes from a scientific background. He approaches these spiritual and metaphysical concepts with a researcher's mind, always looking for evidence and explanations. His work shows that you don't have to choose between being rational and being open to spiritual ideas. You can be both. So if you're feeling doubtful, try this. Instead of dismissing these ideas outright, approach them with curiosity. Ask yourself, what if this were true? How might it change my life? You don't have to believe everything right away. Just be open to the possibility. Remember, even in the world of hard science, many breakthrough discoveries seemed impossible at first. The idea that the Earth revolves around the sun, or that invisible waves could carry sound and images through the air, once seemed like fantasy. Yet these concepts revolutionized our understanding of the world. It's also important to understand that personal transformation is a journey, not a destination. You're not going to see 11:11 one day and suddenly have all your dreams come true the next. It doesn't work like that. What these teachings offer is a path, a way of approaching life that can lead to profound changes over time. Think of it like learning a new skill. When you first start playing an instrument or learning a new language, it feels awkward and difficult. You make mistakes, you get frustrated. But if you persist, eventually it becomes natural. The same is true for these spiritual and personal growth practices. There will be days when you see 11:11 and feel a surge of excitement and possibility. There will also be days when you wonder if you're just seeing patterns where none exist. Both of these experiences are part of the journey. The key is to be patient with yourself. Don't expect perfection. If you find yourself slipping into old thought patterns or behaviors, that's okay. Use the 11:11 synchronicity as a gentle reminder to come back to your practice, to realign with your intentions. One of the most beautiful aspects of this journey is that it's uniquely yours. Your experience with 11:11, your interpretation of Joe Dispenza's teachings, and how you apply them in your life, all of these will be personal to you. Some people might find that they have profound spiritual experiences during meditation. Others might notice subtle improvements in their mood and outlook over time. Some might manifest big life changes, while others experience a quiet but deep shift in how they perceive the world. All of these experiences are valid. There's no right way to do this. The important thing is to stay true to yourself, to keep an open mind, and to approach your journey with compassion and curiosity. As we wrap up this exploration of 11:11 and Joe Dispenza's teachings, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey we've been on. We've delved into the mystical significance of 11:11, unraveled the scientific foundations of Joe Dispenza's work, and discovered how these two seemingly different concepts intertwine in a beautiful dance of spirituality and science. Remember, seeing 11:11 isn't just a coincidence, it's a cosmic invitation. An invitation to wake up to your true potential, to align with your highest self, and to co-create your reality with the universe. It's a reminder that you are more powerful than you realize, that your thoughts and intentions have the ability to shape your world in profound ways. Joe Dispenza's teachings provide us with practical tools to make the most of this invitation. Through meditation, visualization, and emotional rehearsal, we can literally rewire our brains and reprogram our bodies to vibrate at the frequency of our desired reality. It's not magic. It's neuroscience and quantum physics working hand in hand with ancient spiritual wisdom. But perhaps the most important thing to remember is this: you are the creator of your own experience. Whether you see 11:11 as a spiritual wake-up call, a fascinating psychological phenomenon, or simply a cool coincidence, the power lies in how you choose to respond to it. Will you use it as a trigger for positive change? As a reminder to check in with your thoughts and emotions? As an opportunity to align with your deepest desires? The choice is yours. And that's the beauty of it all. This journey of awakening and transformation is uniquely yours. There's no one right way to do it. Trust your intuition, stay curious, and above all, be kind to yourself along the way. So the next time you see 1111, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Remember the teachings we've explored, and ask yourself, what reality am I choosing to create right now? Because in that moment, you have the power to shape your world. Thank you for joining me on this enlightening journey. May your path be filled with wonder, growth, and endless possibilities. And who knows? Maybe the next time you see 1111, you'll smile, knowing that you're exactly where you need to be, co-creating your reality with the universe. Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in the magic of your own potential. The universe is waiting to dance with you. Are you ready?